Hello friends, let's talk about DevOps. So when we talk about DevOps, this is one of the favorite topic in the software industry. So where many people would like to adopt and leverage as much as they could to the best extent. So with that, let me quickly jump to discuss on what is DevOps. So if I have to put it in a clear terms, DevOps word has derived from two words. One is development and second one being operations. So both together has been coined as one term called DevOps, which is development operations. So as the word itself explains, so we hear two things, development and operations, but there would be the third party involved, which will be either testing or quality assurance or TNV that could help us to achieve. So, what is DevOps? So, DevOps enables software development and operation teams to accelerate delivery through the automation, or it may be collaboration, or fast feedback, and iterative improvements. So, in a simple terms, I have put some pictures here just to understand things in a simpler way. So if I imagine a case where there is no DevOps, it is just a normal way of development and operation model. So example in the first cases, here the development team is trying to develop the things and then it may move its stuff to quality assurance or testing team where they will take some time to test what development team has developed and in turn it can give back some defects and then again dev team takes a time to fix it and then move forth and back and after some iterations of a system testing and a regression testing, then the things will move to operations where they try to visualize what I have received in this build from the development or from the total set of programs which were responsible for delivery. So, and then operations can notice something, hey, you know what, this is not as per what I expected. So can you go back and fix? So imagine the way like development to QA, it's again a sequential activity where there will be latent delays already with it and then there will be difference between the quality assurance and operations understanding model would also bring the delay that would be contributed to this process. So in order to look at this, overall time from development to operation transition would be your time 1 plus time 2 and plus multiplied by number of folds that it goes between to and fro between either testing and development or operations and testing, so on and so forth. So what would be the best way to achieve the faster way, the quicker delivery and ensuring the quality? So that time what we could better do is combine these three things. So when I say a combine, it's not just a mechanical term of combining. So it is basically a culture that should come into the minds of the team members. It should be a development team thinking of, oh, how can I bring changes? How can I be more faster? How can I be more agile? So how can I ensure quality? Same testing team, how being the gatekeeper of the quality, how can I make changes, how can I test faster, what automation tools I should be using to do it. So these are all things that should think, plus considering the fact that operations being our end client for development and testing, how can we consider their aspects well in advance so that we test better and we develop better. So this is way where all three stakeholders meet together and the new thing called DevOps emerges. So development team delivering things to operations with the help of automation testing that would ensure the quality, faster delivery, and the more iterative improvements is what we can summarize the DevOps as. So in this case, let's quickly look around some example, right? Not maybe some. I'll take one example in this case just to keep it simple. So imagine every day I want to see what is my Amazon share price. I'll go into Google and then check, hey, what's the Amazon price today? And I see like, oh, it's 1600 and odd something. It's good. So this is what I want to know. I'm trying to keep it in the simple terms. I'm not going into any one of the reporting structure of a software industry or nothing as such. Just a simple example. So what would I do to that manually? So first one, I every day 6 a.m. Log in into google.com and then go to a search and type show me Amazon share market, and then it's what is the present value of the Amazon share. I get it, and then I decide. I do a rationale there. Oh, is it beyond my limit or lesser than limit? Based on that, I want to see like, am I doing awesome or with my value is declining or not? So this is the manual way which a person has to do every day, assuming Google as the development team. They have to ensure like things are working fine. If something is broken, then its testing team has to report. So imagine the huge activity that could undergo. So as we are talking about just a one piece of it, so there will be huge activities that will be going around. So the better ways, let's try to do it via DevOps and how can it be achieved. So you can treat these are all examples or this one test case or a use case that I have considered, maybe just an example, but in reality, the testing team has to consider what my clients, in this clients may be your operations, it may be your customers, it may be your real end users who are using your things. So understand their pulse and then gather what is really needed for the business to be running successful in live, and then implement those scenarios, high priority scenarios, must need scenarios, end to end scenarios, automate them, and then take through the automatic process of running via Jenkins. And then that's how you can achieve these things. So let's go to an example. So what we can do now is it is quickly a skeleton what we are going to do now. First one would be we'll use Selenium WebDriver to automate our script. And in the second case is we use TestNG framework with which we can try to pass multiple parameters if we want. Maybe tomorrow the requirement may come like along with Amazon, I may need it for Yahoo as well, or I may need it like some other the bigger companies. So that time you don't have to write a code, just pass the parameters and take care. So that is one of the cases. And third one being we need to create one batch file to achieve this so that Jenkins, there are multiple ways you can tell Jenkins to run your setup. So I'm using here a batch file setup to run it. You can use Maven project as itself to run. That can also be supported by Jenkins. There are a lot of options. So I'm using a batch file setup that we can see how we can create a batch file as well, along with the test XML. And once that we set up, then we can think of Jenkins, wherein we need to create a new job and schedule it or build it periodically, and which will do your job at particular interval of time. So Jenkins, when I say if you are doing it on your local, you can set up periodically, which is also a kind or a reflection of DevOps. And the other thing is you can trigger it when the build happens. So example, your code source code, whenever it changes like via GitHub and other stuffs, so whenever there is a deployment happens, then Jenkins would trigger your script that would run like a unit test and then shares the result immediately to the dev team. So as I mentioned before, just running doesn't achieve the DevOps. So it's all the cultural shift that every one of us has to go through. So as soon as the script runs, then all your test cases, if they are good, then yes, good, happy path. And if not, then dev team has to jump in and see like what is that code change that I made in this build that has broken the scenarios, which was working fine yesterday. Then they need to take immediately. So that's what we call the immediate feedback. Otherwise, imagine a testing team doing a manual testing for hours together or sometimes days together and then give a feedback next day or a third day. So instead, why can't we automate things and run it at the same time? So that's what the example of quicker feedback so that dev can react immediately and then fix the things and we can go smoothly to live is what. So this is the roadmap that how we are going to achieve. So let's switch to the real-time example how we can achieve it. Okay, so let's go there.